Welcome to the 2020 school year. I am Mrs. Cedarholm, and this is pre-calculus, and things are interesting again this year. One of the things I want to remind you of is to make sure that you check your Schoology updates every day to see whether or not something has changed. It could be that some of the formative quizzes that I gave to the distance learning folks, we're not going to be able to complete them because we just don't have time. So check that Schoology email and see what's going on. Also check your email on a daily basis. And when I say email, I mean your school email. Everything that you do that has to do with Elk River High School, you should be using your school email account, never your personal account. And that has to do with the fact that your school email account will give you access to a lot of the Google pieces that we do. Now, one of the forms that you received gives you the deadlines for everything that's happening in pre-calculus and earning those 5 college credits in Pine Tech and Community College, which you see right here. And we have to take care of your applications and your registration to Pine Tech. And you can see that I have some helpful little sites right here for you to do that. So once we go in, you'll be able to read what the Concurrent Enrollment Student Handbook has to say, and then you'll see the application process and the instructions to do that. And you go through that so you can get what's called a STAR ID. If you've already taken a college course through the language, which sometimes happens, somebody has already taken the college course in Spanish or something, you don't need a new STAR ID, and so you won't have to go through the Pine Tech application process as long as you know you've done that before and that you have that STAR ID available to you. So once you get that application in there, then we can move to the registration. And they actually have a really nice little video here, even though I gave you a packet in class as well for the instructions of how to register. However, let me back up a second, because what I explain in class is the exact thing you're gonna hear here, and that is a student has to be successful in order to get something put on their college transcript. So that transcript is going to follow you around for the rest of your life. In order to appear successful at the college level, you must be able to average a C in both semesters of college pre-calculus. Now, college pre-calculus, it's a tough course, and it's a lot of work. And every day you're going to think, oh my gosh, this class is so much work. However, it pays in the end, because if you can average a C for both semesters, you get those 5 college credits from Pine Tech and Community College totally free, and that is a lot of money. So when you're working, think of it as a job. You are getting paid to do that job. So work on those assignments every single day. Those of you that haven't done that in the past, this is going to be a really tough course for you. And so if you're a person that's always been able to make it through, even all the way through Algebra 2 without doing a lot of homework, that has to end. It absolutely has to. Because colleges, and this is nationwide, view a D as an F. I hope everybody heard that. A D is an F. It is a failure. A C minus is the lowest that a college will consider as something that was partially successful. So if you haven't been doing your homework over the years, this year you will have to. You'll find that first semester has a lot of review of Algebra 2 topics, but we also build on that. Second semester, when we do trig, you have no background in trig, and if you don't do the homework, you will not be able to be successful. So again, you must average a C for both semesters, and then you can earn those 5 college credits through Pine Tech and Community College. So let's talk about those that won't. If you know yourself, and I need you to be honest with yourself right now, if you know you might start off with the homework like gangbusters, but after 3 weeks you're not going to do it anymore, do not apply and register for Pine Technical and Community College. Here's why. Once you get that D or that F on your college transcript, you are placed on academic probation. Again, nationwide, academic probation. So before you have even stepped foot on a college campus, you are already on probation. What that means is when you start off at a college and you apply, they're going to send you a letter saying, well, you're on academic probation. We're not going to accept you. So if you want to get into a college, you will have to go through an appeals process. And basically, you're going to have to grovel and tell them, you know, I wasn't mature enough when I took that course. I've learned my lesson. I've grown up, and I'm going to do better. That is not something a situation anybody wants to be in. So if you are concerned that you cannot average a C for first and second semester, knowing that this course is the toughest math course you're going to have taken at this time, do not apply for or register for Pine Tech and Community College. You can take the course for credit just through Elk River High School, where a D is still considered a passing grade. But absolutely, if you even think for a second, maybe I won't be able to pull that off, do not put your information into the Pine Tech system. So I want to make sure that everybody absolutely knows that. Here's why. When you check those dates for the Pine Tech application process, when you go to the materials that I gave you, you're going to find that we have to register really, really quickly. So what you need to do is go in sometime this week and get that taken care of. And all of that information, the introductory materials, all of that good stuff were given to you. So we've got the syllabus through Pine Tech, the testing and retesting policy, and your daily calendar. The sheet that you're going to find all those dates on, I believe it was white. Yeah, it was white. And it tells you which section you have been put in by Pine Tech, and you'll use that information as you go through the application process. Now, where to start? Well, now that we have all that out of the way and you can think about whether or not you should be applying and registering through Pine Tech, let's go into daily steps to take for success. And once you have found this file, you're going to see that it gives you the breakdown of what you should do every day, and it also talks about what's going to happen on testing days. So again, daily procedures, going to check your Schoology updates, you're going to make sure that you use your school email account, and then number 1 says, let's find that file with the daily learning calendar, which is the pink folder. Find today's date, complete the work listed. And like it says, if you want a note packet to follow along, you can print it out at home, because I did put the PDF inside one of these folders, and you can pick them up. Now, you should be coming to the pickup day, which is going to be tomorrow when you listen to this video, because that'll be Wednesday. And on that day, you're going to get a book that you need to register in, I guess we would say, or sign in. And then you're also going to get the materials for Chapter P that we're going through, which stands for prerequisites. So if, as we get to Chapter 1, you realize, you know what, I don't have a printer at home and I want to get these printed materials, go ahead and email me from your school email account and let me know that you would like to get those materials. I'll get them together for you, and then we'll determine if you're going to pick them up, if your parents are going to pick them up, or maybe somebody that you know that comes to school every day could pick that up for you, and whether or not they would get it from me in my room, or if they'd just like to pick it up like from the attendance office. You know, that's right inside the school door. So if they could get in here during school hours and pick that up for you, I could certainly get those copied off for you. But remember, we have to give the copy lady enough time to get all this done. She's been super busy this first week, and so don't expect to ask me this Thursday to have all the materials ready for Chapter 1. That's not going to happen. We'll copy those off as we get closer to the date, and then you can let me know. And again, you will know which date it is, because we're going to go back in here, and we're going to find your daily learning calendar, which is right down here. Now, I do want to mention that we have the textbook online access, and once you get your pile of materials, you should be going in here, taking a look at, and this is the fines the district sets for the books, but this is the big one here, textbook registration. So you want to fill all this information out. You're signed up for pre-calculus. I'm your first semester teacher. Look at your schedule. Who's your second semester teacher? Book number. Open up the front cover. It should be in a little oval. Put that in here. And then be extra careful to take your time and document all the stuff that's already wrong with your books. So if you can see white on the corners, that's bad because the blue has been scratched off of it. So corners are all white. Covers scratched, corners are actually pulling up and coming apart. The binding is the part of the book that holds it together in the middle there, and that's a big deal because once that's gone, then the book falls apart. So make sure that that binding is looking good. Turn your book sideways. Water damage will show up as your pages being kind of wavy, and then writing on the pages, just kind of flip through it quick and see if anybody's been writing on anything. Usually it'll kind of catch your eye as you're paging through. If you're halfway through the year and you realize, oh my gosh, somebody tore out page 105, email me and I'll put that in there. The fines are only for things for damage that you did. So get that book registered. Now, I went 6 months without talking, so I'm having a little bit of dry mouth coughing going on here. I'll have to stop this every once in a while and get a little drink. So daily learning calendar is where we want to go, right down here. And you can see there's the syllabus through Pine Tech. There's the testing and retesting policy, and you can read about that. What you really should do in pre-calculus is study like blazes for that first test, because you're not going to like the retake process. You have to have all of your assignments turned in to be eligible for a retake. You have to do a lot of work in order to come in and take the retake. And the retake is online this year, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenging process. So like I said, better to do what you have to do when you're in college, and that is study for the test beforehand, do as well as you can on it on the first try. Now let's go down here for the daily calendar. And you can see the dates here, September 8th through October 5th. And like it says, this is subject to change. Never know what's going to happen. We could all come back to school. It might be that we have to all go to distance learning. There's all kinds of things that can happen. So make sure that you know this is subject to change. Here's that reminder to check your Schoology updates in your school email every day. And for the 8th, this welcome video, you're going to watch this, and you're going to watch the video lesson. And the video lesson is going to be for P1 Day 1. At the end of that video, you're going to see the homework for that section. Now, in the past, I have not always had a microphone for all the videos that I have done. So if I go through and listen to the video and I realize, gosh, I must have had a microphone for this one, or all the kids were out of my room, so this is a pretty good video, I'm going to mark it as good audio. Last year there were a few people, not many, probably about 10% of the class, that said some of the audio on some of the later videos, it was really hard to hear. So this year I'm going to re-record those while I'm teaching class. So if you want to, you can watch the old videos, but know that every day after I teach pre-calculus, that's first and second hour, I'm going to download that video and then upload it into Schoology. The problem is that takes a little time, and so I'm going to have to do that during my lunch. So the new videos, which will absolutely have good audio on them, will be available by about 11:10, 11 o'clock every day. Now, that's not to say that the older ones are bad, because like I said, 90% of my students said, no, not a problem, Cedar Home, the videos were just fine. But if you happen to have a Chromebook with bad audio, then yeah, you might want to wait until 11 o'clock every day in order to do that. Because these assignments that you see on our daily calendar, that's what you're responsible for. Whether or not you're in class, or if you are on one of your off days, A and B students, or if you're a distance learner. This is what you're responsible for. So distance learners, I want you to take a look at this right now. Down here on September 22nd, we are planning a test. Now, distance learners, there's a reason that I'm asking you to take a look at that. And that's because a little bit later, we're going to have a form that your parents are going to need to sign saying that they have actually watched you take your test. They're going to take your phone out of the room where you are. They're going to make sure that your Chromebook only has one window open, and that window is this test. They're going to take your notes, all that stuff, so that you are testing just like everybody else in the class would. And it's basically a test proctor form that we're coming up with. So proctoring just means they're the people that are going to monitor you and make sure that there's no cheating going on. So you need to talk to your folks and say, I have to take my pre-calculus test on September 22nd. When are you going to be available? Because Cedar Home says you have to watch me take this test and make sure that there's no cheating going on. And so that's something you're going to need to do every time that we have a test, is figure out what's going on. Now, if there's some kind of emergency and your parents can't do it on the 22nd, then you're going to have to talk to me and we need to figure out what to do, because again, this is a college level course. And so one time in each semester you could take the test on a non-test day. So what that means is it's the same as if somebody were sick in class. In college, if you are sick and there's a test, you go anyway. That's just how it works. There was only one time when I was in college when a student was excused to come back and take a test at a later date. And that's because he was coughing so much that the rest of us couldn't concentrate. So the professor said, "You, come up here," and told him, nobody can take this test because you're coughing too loudly. Come on in my office hours tomorrow and take it. So you're expected to be present on all of those test days and get that taken care of. Now, we might be changing this a little bit, and that's because we have always said that you could miss one test because of illness. But obviously this is a different situation now with COVID, but the special circumstances will be determined by your instructor, by your teacher, which is me. And so I have to determine whether or not you were really sick. And if you were really sick, then we can work with it. But if you're just trying to get out of taking a test because you're not prepared and you're saying that you're sick, and I look back and I see that you didn't do the homework, forget it. The next step will be dropping you from Pine Tech and Community College, because this is important. This is a college course. So you found out what you're supposed to do, and it says you're supposed to watch these video lessons. So let's go back to the main screen and go down, and we see, daily lesson videos. But what did we pass on the way there? Well, this is what we're going through right now. These are the application and registration pieces. This is the textbook information, online access, in case you forget. I mean, there's usually people kind of memorize the online book code, but you just go ahead and go to the link, and then this is the online book code for pre-calculus. Back we go. And this is where we just were for the daily learning calendar. This is digital copies of worksheets and handouts, and that's for our distance learning students. And this would be for if you didn't want to come in and get a book and the materials for Chapter P. All of the information that you would need that you can print out at home is here. But like I said, it's quite possible that we may not be taking some of the formative quizzes. So if you're looking here and saying, I have a paper here that says quiz on A1 and A2, and that's not up here yet, then that's because I don't know that we're going to have time. We're getting a lot of material in Chapter P. If we do, it'll be in here and you could take the quiz that way. But right now, this is the stuff I know we absolutely will get to. So there's digital copies of worksheets and handouts. I don't know that you'll need a whole lot of graph paper, but we will do some graphing. So I did put some graph paper in here, and I know that's kind of silly because you can get it off the internet, but last year I had a couple people request the 10 by 10 graph paper and definitely request the trigonometry graph paper, but that's second semester. So again, back to steps for success. Daily lesson videos, and here we are. So right here is the video lesson for P1 Day 1. Now look what happened when I put the little finger up here and chose this. Video lesson for section P1, day 1, September 8th, 2020, good audio. This, in fact, I recorded back in 2016 when we had a water leak here at the school, and our students were only coming in every other day like you are now. And this one definitely has good audio and everybody will be able to hear it well. So after the welcome video, you are going to watch this and you will complete the homework that's at the end of it. But this one says last year, and I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know how good the audio is. So one of the things you want to make sure that you do after you've watched these videos, welcome, is double check the assignment. Because over the years we have had to make some changes in the assignments. We see that what we were trying to do is at day 1. And you're going to write the page number down. Pages 9 and 10. Now notice I'll even be taking you through, hey, you have to have this labeled, you have to have the page numbers on there, you have to have the numbers on there as you go through it. And then you're expected to do all of that. However, if it's an older file, it is possible that we have changed the assignment. So there are a couple of places that you can go to make sure that the assignment that you've written down from the video is the right one. Here's the first place, Infinite Campus. That definitely will have the updated assignments in it each day. Now, the second place would be down here where you have to turn the assignments in. Turn in your completed assignments for Chapter P, P1 through P3, blah, blah, blah. And notice each one of these has exactly what the assignment was supposed to be. Now, you're going to do this assignment, and you're going to do it really carefully, and you're going to show me every single step, because that's how you earn points in pre-calculus, is by showing all the steps that are required. You're going to know how many steps to take because you're going to see that when you watch the daily lesson videos every day. You're going to see what's required at the college pre-calculus level. So you finish that up, and now what? You know, how do I know that I'm right? Well, the worked out solutions are posted right here. So you'll go into the P1 to P3 worked out solutions, and you're going to take a peek, and you will probably, when you first look through it, you're going to ignore all the work and just look for the answers to make sure that your answer was correct as you go through there. But know that you have to show the work behind this. Even if there isn't a lot of work to show, try to show some work as you go through it. So once you have that assignment done and you've checked the worked out solutions here, it could be that you got something wrong. And when you looked at my worked out solutions, you thought, well, gosh, I don't know what I did wrong there. So if we go back to the very beginning, because this has happened and we don't want to spend a lot of time in class going over homework questions. Over the years that I've been teaching this, people generally ask for the same problems over and over again. So you will go to the frequently asked question videos. And these videos have the most popular problems that people have asked for over the years. And not only do I work them out, but I explain them. And people find that really, really helpful, especially for the word problems. So don't just watch me do the problem. Make sure you listen to the audio. And now you should have absolutely everything fixed in your homework. If you don't, if there's something you still need to ask about and you can't figure it out using the worked out solutions, and you watched the video for the FAQ and you still aren't getting it, well, then email me. And we should probably do a Google Meet on a Friday, or if it's a test week, we need to try to get that in before we take the test and get that fixed. Because your assignment should look absolutely beautiful when I get it. There should be no question that you have checked all of your answers and that everything is correct before you pass those in. So let's go back to daily steps to take for success, and let's see where we're at now. Alrighty, we found the daily learning calendar. We watched the videos, And like it says, about 11 o'clock every day by 11:10, because that's when lunch is over for me, those videos should be in if I'm doing the new ones with the microphone. You write down the assignment, and this is Algebra 2 where they use the odd and evens, but for you guys, you go to that Worked Out Solutions, the white folder, and check your work. Have to show your work, you have to correct your assignment to receive credit, and you have to do all of it. If you even skip one number, you're going to get it back. Everybody earns the points for the work that they've done. So this says, hey, I had trouble, I got some of them wrong, go to that frequently asked questions that we just talked about, fix it, write it down, and now we're to the point where, hey, I've got to figure out how to get this to Cedar Home. And like it says, you're going to take a clear photo of your assignment. You could use your Chromebook, you could use your phone, but you want to submit that into the blue folder that I was just showing you that had all of the assignments in it. So we go down here to turn these in, and now starts the process. Now it's a little bit different depending on whether or not you're using an Apple or if Apple computer or a PC desktop, your Chromebook, or it could be that you're going to use your phone. But what we have to do is somehow get a picture of the assignment so that everything can be seen, and then you're going to submit it. And your page is going to look a little different than mine here because yours will give you a spot to submit those in. So now, what we'd have to do is go into our computer and find where it will take pictures. Now that's going to be under Applications. And on an Apple, this old Apple has a little something called Photo Booth. So I have to go into Photo Booth, everybody, and I have to take a picture of my great work. Now I have to make sure that Mrs. Cedarholm can see all of it, so I move that so the whole paper can be seen, and I take a picture. Now notice how you can see my face. Every once in a while, I love to get them where you have a big smile on your face as you're taking your picture. That helps a lot. Hi, Mom! You're doing the little wave thingy, you know, that. But make sure that I can see the homework. So now, this is created in Photo Booth, and what I want to do is get this on my main screen here. And to do that with a Mac, I have to download this onto my computer, so I'm going to put this in my photos. It's in my photos now, and so I'm going into Photos. Again, the process is going to be similar no matter what computer you use. You have to take the picture. There's usually an app to take the picture. There's usually a separate app, which is what this is, and this is my photos here. And I want to look at all my photos because I just took this one today. And I am going to drag and drop, that was backwards, drag and drop my photo onto my main screen because I don't want to have to worry about, well, where was that photo? Where did I keep it when I try to submit it? Because I'm going to go to Submit, which will be on your screen. I have the teacher screen on, so you can't see that part. And then I want to be able to pick this photo very quickly. So I would just pick Submit, pick my desktop. Oh, look, that's the only photo I have on my desktop. That's the one I want. And choose that one and download it. And then I'm going to get a message that says, hey, you submitted this. And sometimes it says submitted this successfully, but 800 other people at the school submitted at the exact same time that you submitted. And so even though it told you that it was successfully submitted, sometimes it will not come through. Now that's the reason that you have to check your email, your school email, every day. Because if that's the case, I can't give you credit for that assignment because I can't see it. I have to see the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, after I go through the homework every day, I'm going to email those of you that are going to have to send me a photo, and you'll have to do it through email to make sure that I can see your work and give you credit for that. Because the only way that you will get credit for the day and be marked present is if you turn in an assignment. Now, I know that you got an email that says you can mark yourself present, but that's kind of silly. And again, what we have to do is see product. This is the product right here. That's going to get you credit for attendance for the first day of school. So what you'll need to do is submit this assignment by the afternoon. 1:30 will be the cutoff. You're kind of lucky. I have a 6-hour prep. So if you can submit that and get it into the system by the following day at 1:30, then I can mark you present for attendance. So that's what you need to do every day. And like I said, all of this explained in daily steps to take for success. So let's go back in there and see what it says after you've done all of that fabulous work and you submitted it, and then later in the day you checked to make sure you didn't have an email from Mrs. Cedarholm because something went wrong. Usually what goes wrong is some students just can't figure out the first little while how to get that photo to submit in there. But you'll work your way through it. And if you don't, ask your parents to show you. You know, how can I get this picture that the computer just took into this file, and do it that way. Now, it's the next day, go back to step 1 and repeat. So find your daily calendar, do what you're supposed to do for homework, check your homework, fix it, take a picture, submit it, all that good stuff. Test days. Submit any of the chapter homework that you did not already complete, including the review, before you take the test. So that has to be submitted. Where do you submit it? The same place you submitted your normal homework assignments. Oops, that's worked out solutions. Look at that. I clicked on the wrong color. There we go. Blue. So way down here at the bottom. Review homework for the test of sections P1, A1, A2, blah, 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 and you'll go in and you will submit the review right there. Now, notice this. Work shown for the test problems. Yep, you're going to be able to submit that too. When you are done with the test, we have to see the work. You do not get the points for any problems online, taking those Schoology tests, if we can't see the work. So let's take a peek again at daily steps for success. Now, like I said earlier on, there will be a form available that you have to take care of, those of you that are doing totally distance learning. So make sure that there's a parent available to watch you take your test. Have them sign that test security form. You're going to email me a photo. Notice that one I'm going to do by email. I want to make sure I have all of those. And I don't want somebody to get it signed, take a picture, and Schoology won't take it for some reason. So those you're going to go ahead and email me. You're going to have your graphing calculator, clean piece of paper or 2 for showing your work, and a pencil ready. Your folks are going to have taken your phone out of the room. They're going to have made sure that you only have the test open, that you don't have any other windows going while you're supposed to be taking your test. And you're going to take that test on Schoology showing all of your work on your clean piece of paper. Now, some people write very lightly. You cannot do that when you are taking your tests. I have to be able to see your steps in the work in order to give you credit. The steps, I'm going to repeat that, the steps are how you get your points. Each step is worth the point, so you have to break it down. That's the only way that we know what your thinking is. So steps equal points. After you finish, you're going to submit your test. It's just going to, at the end, say, do you want to submit this? You submit it. They are timed, by the way. You only have so much time, but nobody last year ever ran out of time when they were working on any of our tests. Then you're going to take a clear photo of your work. So once you take that photo, make sure you stop and take a peek at it and say, oh, yep, she's going to be able to see everything. If you can't read it, I can't read it. So make sure that you do that. And then you're going to submit that in the blue folders. And then check to see if after the test you also need to watch a video lesson. Now, why would we have to do that doubling up? Because remember, first semester is all review to prepare you for the tougher material that we get to. So we have to speed things up when we're working on things you already know how to do. So these, again, will let you know, because it'll say right on your daily calendar that not only are we taking the test, but we're also going to watch the first day's video for the next section. And then we move on. You know, you go back to those daily calendars and you take a peek and see how things are going. So we have gone through everything. And I want to remind you again that we have to apply to Pine Tech, get a star ID, and then we have to register for the course. And that's where those white pieces of paper with all the Pine Tech, well, notice the little trees here, the Pine Tech icons and everything have on there with the course information. Now, that is for you to apply and register. Do not pass this off to your parents and say, take care of this for me. That is very uncool at the college level. In fact, at Pine Tech, they'd probably laugh. So we don't want to do that. We want to realize that, yes, we are going to be college students in this course, and we have to take care of things ourselves because most college students are over 18, which means they're an adult. You guys are just super-de-duper smart, so you get to do it now. And make sure that by Friday, you have that application process and the registration process if you are certain that you will pull off a C for both first and second semester. Now, how do you know what the grading is going to be? Well, that's going to be by the syllabus, those introductory materials. And 80% of your grade comes from your test score. Another 20% is going to come from the homework that we do. But you haven't gotten to math at this point by not learning that you do the homework every day, and then you will be totally and completely successful when you take those quizzes and tests. So, information about the course all over the place. If you think of something that you didn't find, please don't just email me because you don't want to look it up. But all the information is right here, and maybe there's something that I didn't address that you want to know about. Well, send me an email. Use your school email account. Send me an email to my school email account, and I'll let you know what's going on. Same thing if distance learners at any time you're thinking, okay, this doesn't seem to fit real well right here, then there's probably been some miscommunication. So just email me and we'll clear it up. Again, my prep is 6 hours, so it might take me a little while to get back to you. But lunch is usually when I try to catch up on things like that. So that is everything we have for pre-calculus at this point. It's going to be a great year. It will. We'll make it that way. All right? It's very weird right now, but we're going to make this work. You're going to learn so much information, and you're going to earn those 5 college credits, and things will be fantastic. So I look forward to all of us being together at some point this year and seeing all your bright and shiny faces. Have a great day.